the NFL just sent a message to every college football player. If you look at the Brendan Sorsby situation, this is Robbie with the Bayou Breakdown. Let's get into it. So, why the NFL denied Brendan Sorsby and why it matters. Let's deep dive into this. So, the NFL didn't just deny Sorsby; they may have changed the future for every NCAA player facing disciplinary action from the NCAA. What has happened is Sorsby petitioned the NFL for a supplemental draft. In case on the third video of Sorsby, you still have not watched my video. By the way, best in the business besides old James Skermetta. Hopefully we can get him watching this. What's up, James? Face of the franchise. But so far right now, we're the only ones doing it at this time of night. Let's get into it. So, what they have done is, so Sorsby was gambling. He was betting on his own teams at Indiana. And, you know, he went Indiana and then Cincinnati, Indiana. I can't even talk tonight. Anyway, he went to transfer into Texas Tech. Good night, man. We are on one tonight. But, went to transfer in Texas Tech. The NCAA found out about his gambling problem. He admitted a gambling addiction. There was some total of games that he had bet that he was playing on the team in which he had bet for or against on the game. And so the NCAA completely ruled him ineligible. He went and found a local court in Texas. It was a Houston Cougar judge, not a Texas Tech judge, in case you guys wanted to know. He ended up getting the eligibility back to be able to play due to irreparable harm. And so he was able to go back to college football. Turns out there were some different issues. Too much pressure buildup. Also, Texas Tech, somebody with money came down and said, no, this is how it's going to go. The conference had some issues. Everybody kind of stood up against it. Brendan Sorsby then declared for the NFL supplemental draft. The NFL supplemental draft is where teams can bid their picks for the next season or whatever for, and whichever team has the highest, bid gets Brendan Sorsby. The NFL then denied his supplemental draft till April of 2027 for the 2027 draft. So Sorsby petitioned the NFL for the draft. They denied it, obviously. Why the NFL said no is, it could go a ton of ways, but the league cited integrity concerns, and 100% get that. Shouldn't be betting on your own team for sure. Should be a no-go by all means. But, there was a judge and a ruling and a whole deal where, Sorsby sued. So, and as far as I know, integrity was served. He was, he did admit, having the gambling problem. But it also criticized Sorsby not taking accountability for attempting to bypass NCAA guidelines and their, punishment for Sorsby. And I think that's kind of wrong. I don't think as a different league, as a league as the NCAA that doesn't really have rules, as we've talked about a million times as well, I don't think they would really tell Sorsby that, he's trying to bypass something that isn't bypassable. It's just bypassable. It's not bypassable just because he wanted to. It's just altogether just not a good, put together system in the NCAA. But, that's what they said. Did the NFL make the right call? It could be yes, it could be no. I think the things for the NFL that are going right on if they made the right call is, gambling on games, inherently your own program, is a major concern and a major integrity issue. Yes, I 100% get that. I do see where that's an issue. But I think integrity goes more than what you messed up. For anybody that's ever messed up in their life, integrity isn't that you're not going to mess up, it's what you do after. But moving past that, again, for the NFL, I think the league wants to protect its image. The image of the NFL is strongly withheld. And, you know, PC, political, whatever, they want to be, you know, the people that are seen as doing the right thing. But with the Sorsby situation, I think it could go, you know, a multitude of ways. But I think against the NFL, I would say Sorsby did admit having a gambling addiction. He blatantly said it. He said, you know, yeah, I've struggled with this. It'd be just like, you know, someone else struggling with, you know, an addiction of some sort, or struggling or admitting guilt to something. That's the first part in taking accountability, which plays into integrity. But he also completed treatment for gambling. He completed a gambling treatment, like a rehab. And I think that goes a long way too. But also against the NFL on their decision would be, some will argue that he deserves a second chance. You know, with all the games that he did bet on, I'd say, you know, the second chance is gone. But at the same time, if you didn't know it and you didn't hold him accountable then, and now you're just now holding him accountable, I don't know if you can consider that multiple chances. I think you consider that the first chance. But the bigger question is, should the NFL have allowed him to get into the supplemental draft? And was this the right decision by the NFL? I'm not sure. I want to know from you guys, was the NFL protecting integrity or just denying a young quarterback a second chance? I think that's a really good question. To me, I seem to feel like it was kind of denying a young quarterback a second chance, and not by any means does that mean that I stand by Sorsby and what he did. But what I'll say is, I've seen where the NFL has went with this, and I think that anybody with some money that says, no, this is how it's going to go, that's what programs in the college football, you know, kind of committee and all that stuff and all their conferences, I think that's where they're going to go. And I think that's ultimately where the NFL is going to go, where the UFL, CFL, whatever it's called now, is going to go. If someone comes in with some money and says, no, this is how it's going to go, I think that's how it goes. And I don't necessarily know if the NFL was making this decision based off the best interest and, you know, people. I think this was a decision made off the best interest of the NFL. Kind of like, you know, how they've been politically correct the last few years, just trying to get everything right, playing into all these politics, instead of just being a football league, which is what we hope and dream of when we think of the NFL. We don't care about, you know, I'm not going to say racism is a bad thing. We all care about racism and ending racism, but nobody wants to see, you know, some political thing or people kneeling for the national anthem or what have you on the ends of the end zone and blah, blah, blah. We turn the game on Sunday night to watch football. That's what the league is, the National Football League. We don't turn it on for anything else. We turn it on to get away. Sports are supposed to be that point where you can get away from all of the nonsense going on in the world right now. And it seems like, you know, they just have been playing into that recently. And so nothing leads me to believe that they haven't been playing into that in this situation. So I think they were protecting their own image and denying a young QB his, you know, second chance. Let me know what you guys think. This is Robbie with the Bayou Breakdown. Thank you guys. Please like and subscribe. Make sure you comment your opinions and thoughts below. I'll get to them as soon as I see them. Peace out.